G'day again, John down under tunage here in Melbourne, Australia. Got the house free for an hour or so, so I better jump on board the 2022 vinyl thread as put out by Rob Walker. And yeah, he's got 22 questions and be good fun trying to go through them all. I think I've got something for every question. And I've seen a ton of these already. Rob Walker, of course. Robert's on my turntable. Rob Ison, Richard McCook, Mazzy, who did a mashup between Rob's and Stunty at Stunt Rock Confusion. I haven't seen his yet, so that'll probably be another one I'll have a look at. Chris at Record Talk, Pete at Sounds of the West Coast, Baggy Hi-Fi, Randall Nelson, Robert Fithen, Crackin' Vinyl, Graham with probably the best intro to a channel of all the VCs that I know of. I love that little quirky intro he's got. Nick Rudeau, who's back on board again after he probably had a few dramas with his previous channel, but he's back. So yeah, welcome back, Nick. Jamie Cottle, Vinyl Dale, and the last one I saw was Craig's Vinyl Plethora, and yeah, he was a new one to me, so I've subbed him up. And yeah, they've all had pretty interesting answers, so I'll have a go at it myself. And the first question is, what's your favourite 2021 album? That should be pretty easy to guess, I think. The two honourable mentions, Jessie Ware, What's Your Pleasure? Yeah, the Jessie Ware, courtesy of Harris Pilton, on a recommendation from him, so much appreciated their pilts. And Charlotte Gainsbourg, who was on a radio, yeah, our Triple R radio, played some of the songs from that every now and then. And yeah, so that was, yeah, I chased that up, and that's the album Rest, and that's a highly recommended as well. But my best buy of 2021, Diamanda Galaz and the Litanies of Satan, redo of the, was about 1982 LP, and this has come from her site, Diamanda's site, her own site herself, and yeah, glad to have that on vinyl and to have it in the collection. So that's my best buy of 2021. Question 2, the first person you saw live. I hardly go to concerts, I don't know, I'm just not into them, I don't know if that makes sense, but I just couldn't give a shit really. But yeah, when I was first going out with the missus up in Sydney, she had tickets to Nick Cave, and that was about 92, and we went to the concert that he had, I think it was the Horden Pavilion from memory. So Nick Cave, this is the Good Son album, but that was, yeah, the first concert I actually went to. Album 3, album by duo, Aussie, two sisters, Chrissy and Lindsay Hammond, Cheetah. This is Rock and Roll Women, which was their only LP. They're on the Albert label, though this is an epic pressing. This is an overseas one. Yeah, very gorgeous girls in the 70s. Yeah, the blue jean, white t-shirt was quite a nice look for teenage males that were growing up at that time. So yeah, Cheetah and Rock and Roll Women. Question 4, an album in the shrink. I've got a Kate Bush picture disc for the kick inside with the sticker, obviously, and this is still sealed because I've got another copy that is open, so I don't really need to open this. I bought this back in the 80s from someone when I was first collecting vinyl, and I've still got it, for thank goodness, and that's yeah, still completely sealed. So that's Kate Bush Kick Inside from 1978. Question 5 is the concept album, and yeah, I was going to do the Who Tommy, but I don't know if anybody's picked that, but I'll go for Kate Bush again because that's the easy way out. And Ariel, that came out in 2005. This is the original press with the square sticker and the EMI labels. And this is the one with Rolf Harris is on it, of course, which in the new pressings that she's put out, he's been removed. And this is a very expensive item now on vinyl because it was probably at its lowest point in the mid-2000s. And yeah, it's got like a sea of honey and a sky of honey are the two parts of the album. And yeah, you think that's an island with in an ocean, but it's actually the soundscape of a blackbird's call from memory. So that's my concept album, Kate Bush Aerial from 2005. Album not played yet. Well, I just bought this yesterday, so still haven't unwrapped it, and technically it's still got the price tag on it as well, but that'll come off once the shrink's removed. This is the Avalanches, and what's it called? We Will Always Love You. I think this is a 2020 album. Yeah, they had an album back in the year 2000. They had a main song I think it's called Since I Left You. It's got a video clip, yeah, if you want to look it up on YouTube. But they had a bit of trouble because they had so many samples in their album that a couple of people got onto them. I know the main one was the Frontier Psychiatrist, which, who was it? Somebody in Schuster, I think they were. And yeah, they had to delete that off any further examples of the record. And yeah, so the original vinyl from that one in the year 2000 is worth hundreds of dollars, and I still haven't confirmed whether the Frontier Psychiatrist samples are on. They are on the CD, the very first one, but so this is a new album put out by them. So and I'm blind buy, so I don't even know what it sounds like. So that's something that still sealed, and also I obviously haven't played it yet because it's still in the shrink wrap. Main discovery of 2021. Yeah, I raved about this woman back in the who was it? Roberts on My Turd Tub. I'm not sure. Somebody did a thread on your feminine side, like show female artists in your collection, and I spoke about her then. This is Happy Rhodes, the American woman. This is the Ectotrophia, which was a compilation album, roughly 2018. And yeah, once COVID and all that settled and I can get stuff back overseas, I'll chase up more of her material, but this is the only thing I've got of hers at the moment. But yeah, she was definitely a find of 2021. And yeah, I've got the Vinyl Guru to thank for that because she recommended her, and yep, she was right. She's an absolutely fantastic artist. Question 8 is a live album, and I'll put up this one, the Eden House, live in session. They're sort of gothy, sort of fairly spacious sort of sound. They're not, you know, sort of hardcore goth. Then this is sort of an EP, and there's two live performances. There's one in 2009 on one side, and the other side is a 2017 performance, and that on that side, that's where I discovered Louise Patricia Crane, because she's doing the vocals on some of them. So yeah, that's the Eden House and live in session. An album from a different continent. Well, I'll go back to my early days of new wave of British heavy metal, which I was into in the very early 80s and still am. Saxon was probably my favourite of all the ones, and this is the Strong Arm of the Law, and that's a Carrere, which is this one is a German pressing of that. So that's my album from a different continent. Album with a price sticker. I usually obsessively get rid of them. So if I buy anything from a record shop or second-hand store or something, I just can't stand the stickers on. But I don't mind the original ones that were put out when the record was first issued, which I had to go to a 12-inch because I didn't see an album with something. But that's 30.5 centimetres we call them. We don't call them 12-inch singles. 30.5 centimetres. And this was a whole $7, which I did gladly pay that for this now. Sisters of Mercy, 1987, and an Aussie press of This Corrosion, which was on the Floodland album, wasn't it? And Mr. Eldritch and Patricia Morrison. Question 11, punk or new wave? Well, I had to go new wave because my punk collection is just about zero. Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier. This is an American press on Epic, and I don't think the British one, I know the Australian one didn't have it, but track 5, Press Darlings, I'm pretty sure that's only on the American version because it's on this one. And I remember that very well because that was one of the hot gossip routines on the Kenny Everett video show. They did that as well, but yeah, they had the feminine voices and stuff on it, but yeah, very nice routines just quietly. And yeah, so I'll put him in, Adam Ant, and Kings of the Wild Frontier. Box set, one of those underrated Aussie bands that needs more, yeah, should get a bit more love than they do, but yeah, those that know, and that's the Go-Betweens. This is the volume 2. Yeah, I think it's got 3 studio albums plus sort of outtakes and rare mixes and things like that. Volume 1 of this goes for crazy money, minimum 1,000, probably 1,500 is what you'd be looking at if you can find one. That's the one in green. This is the volume 2. Mine's still sealed. I might unseal it one day and maybe on a video or something, but at the moment, yeah, I'm happy just to leave it like this because, yeah, if I listen to them, I've got the CDs, which is probably a lazy way of doing it, but yeah, Go-Betweens, and G for Go-Betweens volume 2. Okay, the sporting theme. I'm not sure anybody's picked this one yet, but yeah, Kraftwerk and Tour de France. This is one of the 3 or 4 years ago represses of it. Yeah, I love my cycling. I love watching it when it's on. It's obviously not on now because it's winter over in Europe, so all these bicycle races sort of won't start until probably April or May next year, and obviously Tour de France, hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll still go ahead and whatnot. But yeah, I love watching the cycling, and this is a sporting theme, obviously, and Kraftwerk and Tour de France. Jazz album. Had to struggle with this one. Had to get one of Dad's old records. This is Dave Brubeck Quartet. Oh God, what's this called? Instant Brubeck it's called. Yeah, I'll just sort of, jazz just doesn't do it for me for some reason. Not that I don't like it, it's just that I'll sort of, there's tons of other things I'd much rather listen to, but yeah, this is sort of counts as the jazz, so I'll put that in. And I've also got a CD. I know this is pretty well known. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, and so that's just about my whole jazz CD collection just there. And yeah, I paid about $1 for this at an Oppie a year or so ago, so yeah, I couldn't say no to it. But so Miles Davis is also there. Okay, a best of LP. Yeah, and it is the best of. Somebody had already said it on one of the responses, so it has to be best of, not greatest hits. So here we go, best of the Fatback Band. A rather arresting cover that is. This is all 76. And of course, well, the main song I remember for them is the Bus Stop. 76 Polydor. And there's the back sleeve. So yeah, if you want good funk, that's the sort of stuff to listen to. What are we at? Question 16. Yeah, that's the one with 8 or more in the album. And yeah, I struggled a bit, but I did find good old Barry Crocker. Barry Crocker, have a shocker. That's what we say. Yeah, this has got 14 on the cover. And it's called Barry Crocker's Sound of Music. So that's another one out of the older record collection. Soundtrack, brilliant song, obviously, off this one. Midnight Express is Giorgio Moroder's Chase, so that was a easy one to pick. VCLT. I haven't formally had VCLT, but I did win a competition put out by Pete at Sounds of the West Coast. And yeah, he sent me a voucher. Very kind of you, Pete, and thanks very much. And probably the best thing I got from that was this is the reissue of Fields of the Nephilim album Elysium. This came out in 2020, 30th anniversary of the 1990 original. I did have it on CD, but I didn't have a vinyl copy. The original's not easy to find here in Australia, but the repress was in a shop, so I was happy to buy that with the proceeds from winning that contest. It was put out by Pete at Sound of the West Coast, so appreciate it, mate, and thanks very much. An album with no writing. This is Tropic of Cancer. This could have counted as the duo as well, because it's two females. Yeah, this is two females, Camilla Lobo and Taylor Birch. Yeah, it's just a keyboard and a bass. Very sort of dark wave, minimalist drone, where they call it. But it's fantastic music. I absolutely love it. And it's called Restless Idols. And I think it's 2013. And yeah, this is getting very pricey on vinyl, this one. But yeah, I grabbed this one when I had the chance. So, and there's obviously no writing on it. 7-inch single. My choice is The Church, Tantalised. My humble opinion, the best Australian band ever. And Tantalised, if you don't know that song, go and look it up. It is utterly brilliant and well worth a listen. If you don't know The Church, they're a good one. Yeah, a good one you should know. And another thing about The Church, of course, is they used to rock some utterly stunning paisley shirts. So if you're into them in the 80s, as a certain person was, they had the designs to die for. They were just, yeah, just so cool and chilled, and yeah, Kilby's voice is just magnificent. So that's a 7-inch single for Tantalised by The Church. 86, I think it was. Colour vinyl, well, yeah, dime a dozen these days, isn't it? So I'll go for an older one when it was a bit more of a novelty. And chance to throw in some Maria Callas too. This is a Mad Scenes record. A compilation of some of the scenes where she was a bit mad. And this is a Japanese one. And it's on a red vinyl, which I'm sure Beatles collectors and those collecting sort of bands from the 60s will know that the Japanese used this red vinyl on quite a few of them. So I'll, you know, this is the Angel Records label. So that's a coloured vinyl one for that question. And the question 22 is an album from 1982, which is 40 years ago. And sad to say, I can remember as if it was yesterday. It was my last year of high school. And this is mainly for the missus. Yeah, she loves this band, Classic Nouveau and La Verite. And this is actually an Aussie pressing too. I don't remember much about them at the time. They don't show them very often on music video shows and whatever. But yeah, they had another album. Oh, what's the one called? Yeah, the one with the gold watch on it. Yeah, I can't remember what that is. But this is yeah, another one of her favourites. And yeah, Is It a Dream? I do remember that one, and I know the clip for it. So that's what I'll put for 1982. Yeah, so my choice for 1982 is La Verite by Classic Nouveau. Alright, that was 2022 vinyl tags done. Yeah, it was enjoyable to do and enjoyable to go through everything, try to find all the answers to all the questions. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and cheers everyone, and I'll catch up with you sometime in the future. And until then, I'll see you later.